So essentially, if your work can't be distilled into a few short sentences, you will be the loser. You've got to have quick, snappy messages out there. And what we're seeing now, big celebrities like Katy Perry, etc., have far more followers than, say, big companies, even Starbucks, Xbox, Samsung. We're not doing business with the business. We want to see the people, right?
This is the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast for entrepreneurs and business owners looking for cool online tools, apps and strategies to make business easy online. My name is Nick Cree and I'm your host. Each episode features a guest expert demystifying the online universe, sharing inspirational ideas and providing tested real-world strategies to help you get the most of what's available online to grow your business today. Don't be a slave to your business, get your business working for you. Subscribe now and get some great content and ideas for you and your business today. Excellent. All right. Well, now's the time in the evening where I get to sit back to learn. Actually, I probably won't be sitting back. I'll have my trusty little notepad out here and a pen and jotting down and taking some notes. We've got a guest presenter tonight, and that is Aldwyn Altuney. Now, Aldwyn is a journalist. She's been a journalist for many years. In fact, she's been in media for a long, long time. Some of you that may or may not know Aldwyn possibly will have seen her in the media herself. So she really does walk the talk. She's a media consultant. She works with businesses on their PR and more particularly on how to get free publicity. So she's not talking to people about how to pay for ads and publicity. She's talking about free publicity. So she's been in the media herself for things like being sucked out to sea in a rip, for parking wardens going wild on the Gold Coast, and plus her business as well too. So she really is someone that embraces media. She teaches people how to use it, and if you just follow what she does, you'll start to see. If you just follow some of her strategies and what she does, then you'll definitely pick up some good things. She runs a TV show as well too. She's got also got the Global Good News Challenge, where she encourages other people to come and post and be part of this organic online world. And she is connected not only throughout Australia, but globally as well too. In fact, I was on one of her TV shows just a couple of weeks ago, and she hosts that with another chap out of, I think, either US or Canada, North America up there. Anyway, I don't want to say which one it is because I'll offend him if I say the wrong thing, but that was a chap by the name of Ken Kleinberg. So, of course, Aldwyn's been here sort of, I think, for probably over a year ago before, but she's back again because she's always got something helpful, useful to share. And I know that you'll go away sort of taking some notes, because tonight it's all about free publicity, and tonight is all about how to create a TV show, not only create it, but how to monetize it. So let's give Aldwyn a big rousing round of virtual applause, and welcome to the stage.
Thank you so much, Nick. I really appreciate that. Great to see you all here today. Now, I'd love to see, before I share my screen, I'd love to see who has got a podcast here or an online TV show. And if you do, can you please pop what that show is, pop it in the link, or if you have any links so we can have a look at your shows and support each other. I am a big believer in people supporting each other when it comes to having shows and also collaborating. And we're at a really exciting time now where a lot of people are collaborating on shows and interviewing each other, like Nick and I have many times before. We're constantly collaborating and connecting. So just pop in there if you have a show. I know some of the intros, it was mentioned there that someone there had a show, etc. So just pop in there, or even unmute yourself and let us know what your show is and what it's about, please. Just unmute yourself if someone wants to just promote the show for a second. Just pop your hand up or let us know. Let's have a look here. Who'd like to just give us a quick rundown of the show? What's the show and what it's about? Who's got a show? Online TV show or a podcast? Who's got one?
I have, Aldwyn.
Yes, thank you. Yes, please let us know what's your show about.
I have the business owner smashing an online show, which we're here watching tonight.
You do. You do. This is like an online TV show, right?
It is indeed. And in fact, it gets published all over the globe. It's sort of in all sorts of places and gets cut up and shared and done, all over as many sort of media places as we can find.
Awesome. I love that, Nick. And you've been so consistent with it, which is something we talked about when we interviewed you for the Total Truth Show. We interviewed you about that exactly and about consistency. And that is something I take my hat off to you. You've been doing this since 2017, 18 roughly. And every week is a huge effort to put this on. So well done on that. Thank you, Nick, for sharing. And who else would like to share? I know some of you have got shows, or who has an idea for a show that you would like to mention? Let's have a look at the chat here. Okay, I can't see anything there. So everyone's a bit quiet tonight, isn't it? What's going on?
Yeah, I've got one.
Thank you, David.
That I haven't started yet. I've been talking about it for a long time. It's been part of my BX journey too.
Yes.
Business as facets of health. And my podcast was about getting to the heart of the matter. And that was where I was having real conversations with people all around us who are doing amazing things, not just about health, but really what it was that made them become what they were, and then how they're sharing that. So I've got a whole people lined up. And that's why I come on tonight too, because I'm about getting ready to make it real. And then this popped up. So here we are.
Awesome. Well, you're in the right place. Thank you for sharing, David. That is fantastic. And yeah, let us know any links or anything there as well. Con, you say you have a show? Would you like to share?
No, I haven't got a show. I'm not as good as Nick.
Oh, you want to show?
One day when I grow up, I want to be like Nick. But we all want to be like Nick when we grow up, and you all. My show is, of course, going to be focused on AI and ChatGPT. I haven't got a name for it yet, but that's why I tuned in when I saw you coming on tonight. I'm really, really keen to make this happen. So I was really keen to come here tonight and listen to how to do this marketing, promotion, creation.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad you're here, Con. Good to see you. So, all right, let's get stuck into the presentation. I'll just share my screen here and make sure you can all see it. Okay. Can everyone see that? Just make that full screen. Okay. Can you all see that?
All looks good.
Okay. Just trying to work out how to make it full screen here. View. Slide. There we go. Oh, okay, there we go. All right, how to start and monetize your own global TV show. We are in incredibly exciting times, my friends. I am so excited about what's possible with the world of the mass media. We have literally millions of media outlets out there, and now we've got a whole new generation of celebrities out there when it comes to the media. So let's have a look at some of the trends, what's been going on since COVID. Okay, so here we can see we are in unprecedented times right now, where we have had a massive increase in consumption online, and more people are viewing content on their phones. In fact, a lot more people are viewing, TV shows, videos, etc. on their phones. In fact, when was the last time you actually watched traditional TV? A lot of people I speak to now, they don't actually watch TV at all on the traditional box anymore. They're consuming content on their phones. So who else is like that here? Just pop a yes in the chat if that's you. If you watch most of your video content on your device, on your phone, on your maybe your laptop, on a device that's not a traditional TV screen. Who would that be here? So just pop a yes in the chat if that's you. Yep. Nick, thank you. Nothing on TV for years, David. Yep. Thank you so much, Harry. Thank you. Thank you. We'd love to make this interactive today. Can we do that? Have a bit of fun in this presentation? And Paul, thank you so much. Yes, exactly. That's exactly right. That is what's going on, is more and more people are watching TV on their devices. And you will pop up on their news feed and stand out if you have an online TV show. And a lot of people have not thought about this, or maybe they've thought about it, but there's some things that stop them. So we're going to cover some of that ground here today. Okay. So, all right. So let's look at what's happening with the trends here with social media users as well. We've actually passed now 4 billion here in 2023. 4 billion of the world's population are now active social media users. Okay, so out of the 7.9 billion population, 4 billion active social media users, and that is just going to keep going up. These are the stats here. This is what you can see here from Oberlo here. It's just going to keep going up, right? So as much as you may be resisting social media and consuming the mass media world as we are, consuming TV, video, etc. online, it is just going to keep increasing. So if you have been resisting it, I recommend that you learn to embrace this as much as you may not like it initially. It is the way of the future. And in fact, it's only been really the last 20 years or so that even social media has been around. In fact, Facebook started in 2004. Right, so it's not even 20 years since Facebook's been around, right? About 19 years, and now we have half the world's population now on active social media users. So 4 billion, we're going to go up to 4.27 billion according to Oberlo, and up to even 4.41 by 2025, and that will keep going up. And no doubt as more social media platforms start coming about, that will keep going up. And in fact, TikTok's really only been around about 5 years as well, and now there's 1 billion people on TikTok as well, which is massive. And of course, that's all people's online TV shows in one way or another, right? People are sharing video content, and that's really what's going viral more and more is the video content that people are putting out there. It's very easily consumable for people, and they can also listen to it. Even if they're not watching it, they can listen to the audio as well while they're doing other things. Now, media can be overwhelming, right? So who feels a little bit overwhelmed by the world of media and all the social media channels? Just pop a yes in the chat if that's you. If you're feeling overwhelmed, or if you're watching this on Facebook, just pop a yes in the chat if you feel a little bit overwhelmed by media. It is sometimes the social media world can feel like a whole other language, right? All the hashtags, the ats, the lols, it is really like learning a whole other language. However, what I recommend is with your messaging, with your media, that you actually present it so that a 14-year-old can understand. Keep your messaging very, very simple when it comes to online media, because people now, they're so overwhelmed with messaging that if you overcomplicate things, that you will lose people, right? You confuse people, you lose people, as they say. So keep things very, very simple there. Harry says, I'm a dinosaur. David says, absolutely. Yes, John, thank you so much. Thanks for participating there. I love to make this interactive. Now, the winners are with the online world. The winners are the celebrities and the innovative individuals, right? The innovative people are standing out there. Also, those happy to share their opinions, right? People happy to share opinions. We actually want to hear your opinions, right? Not everyone's going to agree with your opinions, and that's okay. Not everyone agrees with your opinions now anyway, right? So as you get yourself more out there, you're going to have more people that love you and more people that hate you, right? Let's just look at Donald Trump as a perfect example. Okay, there's people that love him and people that hate him. He's one of the most persecuted individuals out there. However, he shares his opinion. You've got to admire the man for that, right? You've got to admire people that share what they think and that share their truth. And I think this really is the new currency when it comes to online media, is people happy to share their opinions and share their truth no matter what other people say. No matter what other people say. So it's really building that inner resilience to be able to, share your message and speak your truth and not worry about the repercussions of that. Now, innovators also who are direct and charismatic or have great stories to tell. So also being vulnerable. The winners are people who are willing to authentically share their story. Nick shared with me the other day that he got caught out to sea as well the other day. So we had that in common, unbelievably, right? And in fact, the day after I got swept out to sea in Coffs Harbour, I did a Facebook live video and I shared the topic was learnings from my near-death experience, which happened just February 19 this year. And it was an absolute life changer for me because I felt like I was given a second leash on life when I actually survived that ordeal. And I won't go into the whole details of it, but go back and look at the live video, right? And there's so many, and that's had thousands of views now and been shared all over the place. And it's a great beach safety message in that video. I didn't quite know what was going to come out or how it was going to come out, but I just shared from my heart what I wanted to share about that experience. And there was so many learnings in it, like letting go and going with the flow. How often as business owners do we try and control everything, right? How often do we want to control everything around us? And there's a great saying in Landmark, I've done a lot of personal development work, and Landmark's a great course I've done. And I talk about being committed, not attached. Be committed to what you want, not attached to what it's going to look like. And a lot of things that stop people having an online TV show is perfectionism, right? They want it to be perfect. And just notice if that's you. Just notice, do you want everything to be perfect before you go out and do a live video on social media, or before you start your own show? Are you overthinking it, right? Are you overthinking it? It's better to take 100% imperfect action than 0% perfect action. All right. So just notice if you're being a bit of a perfectionist around any of that. And are you someone willing to share your truth? Now, the losers out there are dull people. We don't want dull people. We want interesting people who are sharing their story. Now, even businesses with dull and unimportant, and even if they're important messages, they're often the losers when it comes to building an online following, to making a bigger impact out there in the world with what they do. So essentially, if your work can't be distilled into a few short sentences, you will be the loser. You've got to have quick, snappy messages out there. And what we're seeing now, big celebrities like Katy Perry, etc., have far more followers than, say, big companies, even Starbucks, Xbox, Samsung. We're not doing business with the business. We want to see the people, right? These guys have about 11, 12 million people. And in turn, these are better than big charities who have it the best. Even if, you know, UNICEF, World WWF, 4 million people roughly. So people, we want to do business with people. And ideally, you know, think about who are the people that you really admire out there, and which, you know, shows do you love, which online shows or offline shows, you know, who are the people you resonate with, and why do you resonate with those people? Because there'll be something most likely in the people that you admire who are doing shows right now that you have some of the same elements yourself. Maybe you realize it, or maybe you don't realize it consciously. However, really, you know, there's so much possible for you when you're willing to step up. Now, also the slow out there, the slow people, a lot of people still thinking about doing the podcast, still thinking about doing the show. Meanwhile, others are pumping out the content and building that omnipresence online. And this is really what it's about now. This is the game, I believe, is building the omnipresence of your global, you know, your social media, your media presence, to really leverage yourself. A lot of people in business too are very, very busy. So you want to leverage yourself and, you know, make the most of the media outlets to be able to do the work once and get it out to a whole lot of people. You know, I love the power of video for that. When people share their story, you know, a lot of people, they say, well, tell me your story. Just go watch the video. Just go watch this episode, right? It saves you repeating yourself for an hour. Okay, so speed is something that is very important to get out there ASAP, because if you don't, generally someone else will, right? Someone else in your industry will go out there. Also the formal, so if a business or organization makes its social media output sound like a sort of corporate speech, something like that, then it'll be hard to get traction or generate interest to. So you want to make it very easy to consume, very easy to follow with the way that you present yourself, the way that you speak in your shows. Now, for those who might have seen some of my shows, I've had Media Queen TV now for many years, for about 10 years, actually. I've been running Media Queen TV. I've got about 900 videos or so on my YouTube channel. And then I was invited to co-host the Tech Webcast podcast as well, which that had about 1 million downloads in 8 years. And I co-hosted that with 2 guys from Victoria and a guy from America who I never met in the 3 years that we ran that show. And this is the power now of doing these online shows. You can collaborate with people around the world, and you know, you can create some beautiful magic with people that you don't necessarily meet in person. You know, you could connect with someone here, and business owner smashing it online. You go, let's do a show together, right? And that way you keep each other accountable. It's a very, very powerful thing. Now, initially, when I started, I had different topics. I had Truth Expose TV, I had Media Mastery Show, I had Business Expose TV. I had all these different names for the different shows. And then I just brought it all together, kept it very simple. And Media Queen TV is all about inspiring truth and good news. And now I've started also Total Truth Show, which I've started with a guy from San Diego, as Nick mentioned. We had Nick on the show. And that's the truth about all sorts of different topics. And we've got now, just in a matter of a few months, we've got 29 episodes that we've done now. And they have all been, we use a platform called StreamYard. And we stream out to, I've got the top plan with that, and we stream out to 8 different platforms at once. So we go to Facebook, I go to my Facebook profile, Facebook groups, Facebook page. I go to LinkedIn, to Twitter, to Twitch, and to YouTube all at the same time. With some of the more controversial content, I don't go out to YouTube necessarily, because YouTube doesn't like the truth on some topics. It seems to want to censor certain things that it doesn't want to get out there, which is very, very interesting how we've seen all these fact checkers come out of the woodwork during COVID, right? So some content you'll find on my BitChute channel and Rumble channel, and you won't see it on my YouTube channel. Okay, so that's that. Okay, let's see now. Why start your own TV show? So firstly, you get a global audience reach. It's a very cost-effective method. Now, no longer do you have to go to a studio and spend all this money to to get yourself out there. You can start your own show online, which is very, very powerful now with that, right? It's a very cost-effective. Also, greater creative freedom. You have greater creative freedom also. So when you do your own show, you can pretty much do it as you like. You can choose your own topics, guests. You can have, choose your guests on the show. If you want guests, you might want to do a show where you're just commenting yourself straight to camera. You might not want to have guests on your show. And you can choose the format as well, and change your content based on feedback as well from your audience. So it doesn't have to be a set thing. As I say, I started with many different show names, and then I collaborated, brought it all into Media Queen TV. So, as I say, don't worry about getting it perfect. You can change it as you go. You can edit and make changes as you go. Also, you get data beautifully now and analytics now. When you do a show online, it actually, you can find data on a whole lot of different platforms too. The social media platforms show you how many followers you've got. You can see where the followers are from and all that kind of thing too on your online data. Also, there's lots of monetization opportunities as well. Advertising, sponsorship, some ways, merchandise sales. So you could create some sales there and have a subscription method. When we did tech webcast, we had Patreon subscribers that were coming through for that show, and that was helping to fund the production, etc. of that show. So other reasons to start your own TV show: creative expression, showcase your talents, your unique perspectives, and create content that aligns with your creative vision as well. It's a great way to explore your passion, unleash your creativity as well. I think creative expression is one of the beautiful gifts we've been given in life, and I don't think enough people do express their creative expression. Of course, everyone here does, because we're all business owners, right? We're all the entrepreneurs who do that. However, really, I think it's a beautiful thing that could be encouraged and we could do more of. The second thing is share your expertise or knowledge. So educate and inspire others by sharing your expertise and knowledge. You do have a lot of knowledge, whether you realize it or not. And it's really a question of, are you willing to share your expertise and knowledge? And, if you have the imposter syndrome coming in at all, as some people do, they say, well, gee, what could I share? What could I possibly share? Well, the thing is, if you know 10% more than someone else, you can teach about that topic, right? And you'll have personal experiences and stories that no one else has, right? Your X factor is your story. Your X factor is your story. Now, this is actually number 3, build a community. Don't worry about these numbers here. They got muddled up. Build a community and connect with like-minded individuals. Okay, attract viewers who resonate with your message and vision. So you can build a beautiful community with your show and connect with like-minded individuals, as we've done with our show, particularly the Total Truth Show. It's a bit controversial, a bit left of center. So we've made some beautiful connections with people who are of like mind, who see things the way that we see as well, and some don't, and that's okay too, because everyone's on their own journey, right? And I respect everyone's opinions when it comes to what their truth is for them. The shows can also become a great platform for fostering meaningful connections, engaging in discussions, and building a loyal audience. So it's a great way to actually build your following right across all your social networks when you have an online TV show. And also pursue a passion or interest. So here, explore different aspects and delve deeper into your interests. So you can channel your enthusiasm and create content that you genuinely enjoy. And the more you love what you do, the more you're going to stick with it and do more of it. Okay, so you can really pursue your passions or interests. And this is where we saw Gary Vee start a Wine Library TV, right? This is really where he started. Amazing entrepreneur, started Wine Library TV, reviewing wine, different types of wines. And then he got all these sponsors for the show. And of course, now he's a multi-millionaire doing amazing things. So that's just Gary Vee. Now, business opportunities as well can serve as a launching pad when you have your own show for other ventures. So not only will you build a personal brand, you'll attract partnerships, sponsorships, and you can explore different revenue streams for yourself too through the business opportunities that can come from having a show. And it's also a chance to carve out a niche if you want to have a show specifically around your business or around the topic that you want to be known for in your business, or you might want to do it on a hobby and find ways to monetize that. You'll gain recognition and you'll open doors to new professional opportunities as well. Now, the challenges that stop people, I'd love to know from you here watching this, if you haven't got a show and you've maybe been thinking for a while, I really want to start a show. What are some challenges that have stopped you? Please let me know in the chat. What are some challenges that stop you? Now, these are some things that have stopped some people in the past, maybe not people here. So firstly, technical knowledge and equipment. So the cameras, the microphones, lighting, and video editing software. This is some things that can stop people. And you don't need a really fancy studio to be able to do a show. Really, I do my shows just on a laptop and I have some good lights. Now, while I have a green screen, I very rarely use the green screen anymore, to be honest, because now with Zoom and with StreamYard even, they've actually got a virtual background option where you don't need your own green screen anymore, which is pretty cool. Now, the second thing that stops people is content creation and planning. So coming up with fresh ideas, structuring episodes, and planning the overall content strategy. This requires creativity, research, and organization for some people. Okay, and some people do overthink this content creation and planning. You can just find yourself a guest and you just go with the flow of how the show goes. This is very much how we do it with Total Truth Show. We don't overthink it. We just, all our topics are the truth about something. We've done 29 episodes, the truth about all sorts of different topics, the truth about the awakening, truth about marketing, the truth about the truth. One of them's called the truth about the truth, right? That was a fascinating episode. The truth about emotional intelligence, the truth about whatever it is. So what is stopping you? Let me know in the chat. I can see a few coming through. Thank you so much. Time commitment. Who here feels really time poor? Okay, time commitment. It seems almost like life is speeding up. Does anyone feel like that? Like, oh my gosh, it's getting so much faster, so much to do, not enough time, etc. Well, we all know that we all have the same number of hours in the day, right? We all have the same amount of time. And this is a fantastic way to leverage yourself by doing your own show. You are leveraging yourself. You're leaving a legacy with every single show that you're doing. You're building an audience and gaining visibility. Okay, so a challenge can be some people may not want the visibility, right? Some people might be a bit shy. Okay, they might be thinking, oh, geez, what's going to happen if someone sees me? Am I going to say the wrong things? You know, or am I going to say something that's going to offend someone, or, you know, that kind of stuff. And then monetization and financial sustainability. So with people's busy lives, you could be thinking, gee, how am I going to sustain this with everything else I've got going on right now? So let's see what you've got here in the chat. John's challenge is understanding social media, full stop. Yeah, I get it, John. It can absolutely be a battle. And just remember, everything is hard until it becomes easy. Okay, everything's hard until it becomes easy. It's one of my favorite lines, and it takes a lifetime to be an overnight success as well. There's another one of my favorites. What platform to start with, David? Yep, that's a good point. Number 3, Con says, yep. How or why should I choose a certain platform? That is what I don't understand. Okay. All right, John, thank you. We'll come to the questions at the end. I'll answer some of your questions. So we'll come back to those. All the back-end tech and infrastructure, David says, yes, has been stopping him. Con has the equipment, has invested heavily in live streaming tech stack. Okay, great, Con. Awesome. Neil, numbers 1, 3, and 5. Con, numbers 2 can now be much more easily accomplished with ChatGPT. That is true. Number 2 could be more easily accomplished, the content creation and planning with ChatGPT, absolutely. And things like Answer the Public are great as well, to see what people are looking for on your topic, to come up with ideas to chat about as well. Harry says too much projects, not enough focus. Yes. Paul's not a problem here, just me. Well, Paul, we know you're an expert when it comes to videos. So fantastic. All right. So planning your show. So it's important to plan and strategize before launching, ideally. Okay. Plan and strategize before launching. So consider, what kind of audience do you want to reach? Okay. What is the purpose of your show? Do you want to do it just for fun, for your own passion? Or do you want to do it because you want to build a profile in your industry? Okay. And then you want to think about, okay, is it going to be a show where I just speak to camera about different topics? So if I was to do a show just on marketing, I could do a show just on, okay, how to market on Facebook could be one episode. How to market on Twitter could be another one. What sort of online news channels you could use? They could be things where I'm just talking directly to camera. Or you might want to do an interview type show, which I find is the easiest, and it's a great platform to interview people, because it's very much just like a conversation. It's easy. Everyone's promoting the show out to their people. So you're building a database, you're building a following with people that you wouldn't normally be building a following with when you interview people. So I love the interview structure. However, you don't need to do it that way necessarily. You could look at, are you going to do certain episodes, and what sort of branding are you going to have on the show, which of course you can use Canva. Nick has a great course, I believe, in Canva. Actually, you might want to do some branding images on your Canva. And then you could create a content calendar as well and maintain consistency. So some people do shows, they do it at the same time every week or every month. And some people, do it more sporadically. But I think any way you're going to do it, as long as if you start, just, commit to something, right? So it could be, I commit to doing one show a month, right? That could be your commitment, just one show a month. Or it could be one show every 3 months even. But what we do know is that with the world of online shows, I mean, just podcasts alone, let's look at the stats on podcasts. Now, in 2018, there was 500,000 podcasts worldwide. Now we've got 2 to 3 million podcasts worldwide, and 44% of them don't have more than 10 episodes. Okay. And in fact, most people don't do more than 3 episodes, right, of their show, which is insane. It just goes to show you how much people are not patient. And really, when you're doing a global TV show, it's a long-term game. You want to be building your profile over time and being consistent with it. Just like Nick's doing with Business Owners Smashing It Online. He's been building his profile consistently over time. And that's why we keep showing up. We love Nick's stuff, and we'll support him as well when he has his paid programs, as I'm sure a lot of us have as well. We've come on board and bought his paid programs too. So it really is about building a strong digital presence, right? A really strong digital presence, so that when people Google you, what are they going to find when they Google you? Right? They're going to find you appearing on other people's shows. And this is the thing, it's such an exciting time where people are interviewing each other all over the place on each other's shows. In fact, I was just on a BX meeting today, and I won the 10-minute talk, and the lady who said that I won, she said, I want to interview you for my show. And I said, great, I'd love to interview you for my show as well. So, obviously if there's an alignment, we're due to have a conversation. I mean, if there's no alignment, we don't interview each other, and I'm sure there will be, because she's on BX and we're in similar networks. Then I'm sure she's a decent person. However, we'll have that conversation and we'll take it to the next step. But this is the thing, how often do people go, I want to be a guest on your show, I want to be a guest on your show, and they don't offer anything in return? And I think, it's nice to always look at what you can give, not always what you can take in business, so wherever possible, if you want to build your online presence, start your own show, so at least you can offer people to actually be on your show and you be on their show. I think it's a very powerful way to joint venture, have these JV collaborations. Now, platform selection as well. Which platform are you going to do your online show on? Like, I use StreamYard. I've looked at many different platforms. You could use OBS. There's many different ones, Ecamm. There's all sorts of different technology you can use to put your show out. I love StreamYard because it's a live production, live stream a software that you can basically you can have running banner images, you can have your logo on there. It's a really cool platform. Con says I love StreamYard as well, and it's simple, really simple to use once you know how to use it. Very simple. And I love too that when you're doing a live stream, if someone makes a comment on Facebook or YouTube or wherever you're streaming to, you'll be able to see the comment and you can share the comment up on the screen. So it becomes a very interactive experience and a great way you can connect with your followers without doing so much one-on-one time, right? You really are building that profile. And it blows me away when I go out to networking events in-person events, how many people come and go, hey, Aldwyn, and, you know, like it's like people feel they know you. In fact, I was at the Southport Surf Lifesaving Club the other day, and this complete stranger came out of the woodwork and said, oh, Aldwyn, I've been following you for years. I love your show. You know, and this kind of thing starts to happen. You don't know who you're reaching with what you put out, right? There's being consistent time and time again. And I know that some people watch every single show we put out as well. Some people say, I haven't watched your latest episode yet, but you know, I've watched all the others. So you get those kind of followers as well that just love what you do, and they'll just follow everything you do, which is pretty cool as well. So, however, really, even if you're impacting one person, it's worth putting your show out, right? Even if it's just your family you want to inspire, right? And in fact, what is it for you? Why do you want your own show? Let me know in the chat there. Why is it that you would want to do your own show? Is it to inspire family? Is it to build your own influence? Is it to build a following? Why would you want to have your own show? Just let us know in there. And then branding, consider your branding, your promotion, and collaborations as well. So what does your branding say about you with what you're putting out there? Consider that. And in fact, ask some other people, what do they think about your branding, and what do they think about, you know, how you're coming across? It's always good to get some other opinions. However, at the end of the day, you got to trust yourself as well. And the clearer you can be with that, the better. The clearer you can be, and the simpler you keep your messaging, the better. So how to monetize, some ways to monetize. You could get advertisers for your show. Now, generally to get advertisers, you need to build a following, right? So advertisers are going to support you more if you have more of a following. Okay, and that's where consistently getting out there and doing that is really important. Now, you could have a website for your show where you could get banner ads on there. In fact, if you look at Alex Jones actually with some of his content and InfoWars, Prism Planet, etc. Now, some of his content got banned off YouTube, but he has now 2 million followers that go to his website, and he promotes all sorts of affiliate products on his website, which you might want to have a look at. What he does, he has banner images, merchandise sales, sponsors. You could get donations or a subscription model like Patreon. Something like Patreon, or you get subscriptions. And there's different sort of online TV platforms too. There's one called Earth TV. They have a subscription model. There's a few different outlets where you can also, you know, host your show on the different outlets as well. And also build relationships with advertisers and sponsors. And some of your clients right now might want to support your show. You know, they might want to support it, and then you give them a mention on the show. And what I love about StreamYard too is that you can do a video online TV show, and StreamYard will actually save an audio and a high definition video. So you can then turn that audio into a podcast. And this is what we've done with Total Truth Show, is we've then uploaded the audio to BitChute, Rumble, to Anchor. So it goes out to all the podcast platforms as well. So that makes it really easy to repurpose your video content. But if you just do a podcast, if you're just doing audio, then you don't have that, you don't have the video to then come back to. And as they say, you know, if a photo is worth 1,000 words, a video is worth 1,000,000 words. Right. So I think video personally very, very powerful, and you can always strip the audio, In fact, back in my days as a journalist, I interviewed people like Cyndi Lauper, Debbie Harry, Russell Crowe. It was all phone interviews back then. You know, I really wish back then we had the technology. It was back in the early 2000s. We didn't have the video streaming technology back then. You know, really in hindsight, I wish we did have that because I would have loved to have done video interviews. And in fact, Hugh Jackman, I interviewed face to face when he was doing Paperback Hero in 2003 or so. And, you know, it was just face to face. I just took notes, and I didn't even think to get a photo at the time, right? So there's, you know, there's times like that I kind of look back and go, oh, geez, you know, we live and learn all the time, right? Live and learn. But now we're at an exciting time. We have this technology where we can connect with people around the world, and we can do video interviews like we're in the same room. And so many times I've done shows with people from across the world. In fact, I have a lady from Romania. After this, she's going to be interviewing me between 8 and 9 o'clock tonight. We're doing a similar thing. We're going to be on StreamYard, and we're going to be streaming out on her show tonight straight after this. So many opportunities available. It's important also, once you build your online community, to nurture your online community, okay? Always engage and nurture your audience. So if people are commenting on your posts, then it's important that you also, you know, comment back and like their posts. You know, social media is about being social. It's about being social. And how often do people just post and then run off and don't interact? So it's very important to do that, to really foster those discussions. And you know, that's why I love live sessions, because they're very interactive. People feel like they're in the room with you, as opposed to a pre-recorded video, which you can do actually on StreamYard. You can do a pre-recorded video now, and you can upload it on StreamYard, and you can schedule it to go out, etc. Right? So that's now possible with StreamYard. However, you know, I still prefer the live ones myself. And look, if you really don't like it, you can go and delete it. Okay, so if you really don't like it, go back and delete it, or you can edit it later, etc. But I do encourage you to build that muscle of being confident on camera and actually doing it live. Now, also, you'll develop a loyal and supportive community. As I've mentioned, it's amazing, you know, the types of people that you connect with when you do your show. And I think that's something that's really missing now, is that we're missing that connection. We're missing that personal connection with people. And this is where it's incredibly powerful to do online video content, the online TV show, because people feel like they're part of your life. They connect with you. They build trust with you, right? How many scammers have we had during COVID? Ridiculous amounts of scammers. So it really is about getting the right message to the right person at the right time. That's where all the love happens. The right message to the right person at the right time. And you never know who that right person is necessarily who's going to be seeing your show. Now, you may have a certain market you want to reach if you want to build your brand like Con does here. You want to build your brand. So you might want to think about, okay, so who are my ideal clients, and what kind of media would they like? What kind of shows would they like? And how can I build my influence with those people? What sort of content can I put out for those people? And you could ask your clients, you could go to ChatGPT. I don't know how accurate it would be with your clients, but, you know, you could put out there, what are some of the challenges of your ideal market? And you could do some content around that. David wants to build the influence and get the real messages out there for people to implement. Nice one. Okay, awesome. Thank you so much for that interaction. So quick background on me. Yes, I have 39 years media experience. I won't go through all of this, but things have certainly changed in the last 39 years, right? They have changed a hell of a lot. And now we're seeing, you know, not so much the traditional media anymore that are bombarding certain messages through the mainstream media. My background is in TV, radio, print. I played table tennis for Australia for 6 years. I was interviewed by the Manly Daily at age 10. However, for a long time, I was very despondent and depressed with the world. I used to watch a lot of negative news. And this is why now I'm so passionate about getting more positive news stories out there, because it's affecting people's mental health. We have 4 times the suicide rates now through COVID than we've had before. And the stats are about 1 million people a year normally worldwide take their own lives. And I've actually had 4 friends take their own lives by the age of 45. And I've personally had depression, and I've come through that big dip. I've done a lot of personal development work, and I found the media a great way to actually share messages about things that I was passionate about, just like you can now. You don't need to work for a media organization anymore. You become your own media organization. Curio was the university newspaper. I edited there. So I've got a lot of background in TV, radio, print, which I'm very fortunate to have had all that experience and had some, you know, amazing experiences, interviewed some phenomenal people, have absolutely had a brilliant life. I must say, my 49 years on the planet so far, and I feel like I'm just getting started. In case you didn't believe the table tennis story, there's a photo of the story of me in the Manly Daily back in the day when I was 10 in Sydney. I grew up in the Northern Beaches area of Sydney, been on the Gold Coast since 2000 now, so 23 years here. And I remember being in the studio at age 11, Channel 7 studio on Cartoon Connection. And I remember this massive camera in front of us. And I remember looking at this camera, and the host turned to me and said, "Aldwyn, don't think of the 2 million people watching this right now." And so immediately I looked at the camera and I froze, thinking of the 2 million people watching this right now. It was the worst interview ever. And that is something definitely, when you do your shows, don't think of the 2 million people watching it. Don't think of anyone watching it. Just share your truth from the heart and get that message across. But what they loved, as the media love now, and as is important when you do your shows, is to be entertaining, right? So to have some fun with your show. Now, they had in the Cartoon Connection show there at Channel 7, they had a table tennis table behind where the camera was. My brother and I got on, we're playing forehand to forehand, just keeping that, just focused on the ball. We're just warming up, just keeping the ball. We did about 10 shots and they loved it. They got the clapping machine going. They thought it was fantastic. And we're thinking, well, hang on a second, you haven't seen our smashes or our chops or any of, haven't seen our really great shots. So this is the thing, we're too close to what we do often to realize the brilliance of what we do, right? And the media want to entertain, they want to educate, and they want to entertain. And that is what people want. They want to be entertained and they want to be educated, okay? They don't just want all boring education. They want you to have some fun with what you're doing. So really let your personality shine through, I would recommend. And I've since had coverage with clients. We've had clients in all types of media right across the board. This is just some of the mastheads that we've had media in, some of the traditional media outlets. And the beauty is now with the mass media world, all of these media outlets have social media followings and they have websites. And so when you appear in traditional media now, you're also appearing right across the board on their social media, on their websites often as well. So you're getting really that mass media coverage. So getting traditional media will definitely help you stand out. And particularly if you have your own show, it's going to help you get publicity as well with traditional media, because they're going to be searching you, particularly if you want TV coverage in traditional media, they're going to search you and see how you come across on camera. They're going to see, do you make good talent for camera, right? Are you going to come across well? So it's a very important thing to actually consider that as well. Now, I started my business back in 2002 as a photography business originally, and then it evolved into a media business. I've worked with small and large clients all over the place and interviewed some of these celebrities, and some things they've all had in common is they're passionate. They have someone else representing them to the media. Someone said at one of my events they all take cocaine. I don't know about their drug habits. I can't comment on that one, but they've toughened themselves to criticism. And this is going to be really important for you when you do your own online TV show, is that you toughen yourself to criticism, because sometimes some comments might come through that you don't like. And the beauty is with streaming, you don't have to show those comments up on the stream when you use StreamYard or a platform like that. Some people do their shows on Zoom. You could do it on Zoom. You could stream it to Facebook or YouTube from Zoom as well. It's another way you can do it, but it's not interactive like StreamYard is. So what are you passionate about? I'd love to hear from you. What are you passionate about? Let me know in the chat there. What are you passionate about? What could you do a show about? Like, let's look at what are some topics you could do a show about. So good news is something I'm really passionate about, inspiring action for animals. We had Animal Action TV there as well, which I started. And so I was just doing shows around whatever it was I was passionate about. And it's all under the Media Queen TV brand now. And what are you passionate about and why? Let us know in the comments. What are you passionate about and why? What sort of show could you start, or what could you add to? If you've already got a show, what could you add to? So there's a journey that people go on. You start right here. You're the world's best kept secret. You might feel like that right now. And then you make a start. So being here, congratulations for being here and learning about this. You've made a start. Okay. And 50% of anything you do is just starting. Then you get some steady progress. You get some shows out there. Then you shoot for the stars. You go, I really want to get some amazing guests on my show. You target some big guests. You get them along, shoot for the stars. And then next thing, you are a star. And it is a journey. It's important to be patient with yourself on this journey. Be very patient with yourself, because, sometimes, like Robert Kiyosaki, he was on Oprah in the year 2000. And at the end of the show, Oprah turned to him and said, congratulations, Rich Dad, we've just sold you 1 million books. And that was 3 years after he wrote Think and Grow Rich. Right? He wrote that in 1997, 3 years after, when he was on Oprah at the end of a 1-hour show, things went exponential for him. So it could be that, consider the exponential curve, right? You're chugging along, there'll be one tipping point and then suddenly things will go exponential. And you'll start to magnetize opportunities the more you put things out there. In fact, I was contacted recently by the CEO, the head of Meetup International contacted me. They wanted to interview me for their show called Keep Connected. And so recently I did an interview for that. And they were doing, for May, they're doing a topics, in fact, that'll be coming out any day now. They were doing a topic about mental health and about how good news is affecting mental health. And so they noticed me online. They found me somewhere online, and they found me and interviewed me. And that's those kind of opportunities will start coming to you the more that you put yourself out there with your own show. So the keys to success, like with any media you get out there, it's important to be passionate about your topic. It's important to have purpose. Consider your purpose. package it up effectively so that it's easily consumable. It'll build your profile naturally, and also consider your other social media profiles and how you're coming across as you put your show out. And then people, right? Relationships are so important. The number of people that I've worked with now where we've interviewed each other on our shows, it's quite phenomenal. In fact, most people I talk to now actually have a show, which is amazing. So that really is growing. And then consistency is the thing, right? Next thing. And then what's your process for doing your show? How are you going to do your show? And then once you do your show, how are you going to promote it and propel it out on the mass media? We promote it everywhere. You can promote it on your website. You can email your database once you do your show. Lots of ways that you can get that out there. Now, my awesome media magic formula is always, I recommend, is articulate your story and share why you do what you do when you're doing your show. Look at some angles you can tie in. We've got Mother's Day coming up, right? Mother's Day, you might want to do a live video and talk about Mother's Day, or mention it on an episode if you have a show coming up. Elevating your profile is crucial with everything you do, as people will Google you, right? Startling the media too. You could use some shock tactics in your content as well to startle people and startle the media as well. You will be drawing journalists' attention too as you really stand out online. In fact, a lot of journalists now are looking all over social media, looking for people to interview. So the more you build your profile online, the more opportunities you're going to have also for traditional publicity as well. Owning your power is crucial. I'm a huge believer in investing in yourself, doing the inner work and the outer work to build your self-love and self-worth, so that you feel the value to be able to do your own show. Because a lot of people just sort of, are hard on themselves, right? They're hard on themselves, and they don't think that they'd be great on camera or whatever it is. So just really owning your power, and get that you do have an amazing story to share. In fact, you're 1 in a billion just by being born. You are 1 in a billion, and the fact you're here on the planet, and the fact you're watching this right now, you definitely have something there to offer. So really own that. Everything that you've done up till now has brought you to this point. And then the next thing is mastering the interviews when you go into interviews with others, and also mastering interviews when you're interviewing others on your show as well. This is really important. And, think of 3 main points front of mind you want to get across. You might want to do on your show, some people do 10 quick questions, like they do on traditional radio sometimes. You could do something like that. At the end of our Total Truth show, we always say, what's a favorite motto or quote that you live by? So we always ask that of our guests, and we always share that. We always share some inspiration at the end of the show. And we have a little music intro as well for our online TV show that we also use on the podcast. You don't have to have that though. Media Queen TV, I don't have any music intro at all. I've just got straight streamed online shows out there. And then explode your impact, making the most of that publicity. And then once you do that, the benefits will be you will build your fame, you'll build your fortune, you'll build your freedom, and you will leave a legacy with every single media spot that you put out there. With every bit of content you put out, you are leaving a legacy. We're leaving a legacy right now. And I think that's absolutely a beautiful thing, and such a gift to be able to share some of our knowledge and to help inspire people. I think, now more than ever, I think people need inspiration. And, one of my favorite quotes by Gandhi, be the change you wish to see in the world, right? So imagine, how would your life be different, you think, if you were seen as the go-to person? Just pop in the chat. How would your life be different if you were seen as the go-to person in your niche? If you were to build a show around your niche topic, how would your life be different? Because if you're not the go-to person right now, then your ideal clients will be going somewhere else right now, and means you won't be serving them if they don't consider you as the main person in your niche to work with. And who really wants to create change in your life? Just pop a yes in the chat. Yes, it's time, right? It's time. Now, hopefully I've inspired you today to actually go, okay, it's time to get this thing started, or to take this to the next level. Just pop a yes in the chat if that's you, if you are ready. And I know energetically on a planetary, we've just had Pluto go into Aquarius, right? It hasn't happened in 30 years. It's massive planetary shifts happening. And I don't fully understand the science of all that, but all I know is I've been feeling the change, right? I've just taken on five people in my business this week, and I'm scaling myself. So this is all possible for you, right? It's all possible to get yourself out, to be seen as the expert, to start your show, to start inspiring people, connecting with people, building your influence, building opportunities that are going to come your way. You're not getting any younger, my friends. Sorry to break the news to you, but you know, you might think, oh, I'll do it next year or the year after. And next thing you know, another 10 years goes, right? And maybe you haven't done that thing that you've been wanting to do. So we have, as Nick mentioned, the Global Good News Challenge. This is a great way you can start to build your confidence of doing live videos online. Okay, you can actually do these as Facebook live videos, or you could use StreamYard. You could have a go with the platform. I actually have a link for StreamYard. I'm happy to put in there. It gives you $10 US off if you do the upgraded plan. There is a free plan with StreamYard, or they've got about a $20 or $50 a month plan, depending how many platforms you want to go out to. So happy to share that link. Global Good News Challenge. This is something where it's a free video challenge, social media video challenge, and all it is, just do a simple live video. For May, we have a 5-day challenge. Anytime in May, you can do 5 days in a row, sharing your name, what you do, 3 things you're grateful for, and a piece of good news. Okay, and then just hashtag Global Good News Challenge. We'll share it out to thousands of people, and we'll add you to a private group called Global Good News Challenge, so you can hang out with other good news crusaders as well. We've had people do this right across the world now, and they always feel amazing when they do it. It's a very simple 1 to 3 minutes a day is all it takes. For most people, it takes about 3 hours to get over themselves to get on camera to do the 1 to 3 minutes. But you know, that's all it takes, is about 1 to 3 minutes. And all the details are in the Global Good News Challenge Facebook page. Pinned to the top, you can find all the details of that. And that is a great way. You'll lift your energy, lift the energy of those around you. You'll be helping to decrease depression and suicide rates as well when you do that. I also invite you to stay connected. We have a mass media tribe group on Facebook and Meetup. I recommend check that out. I'll put my link tree here in a second, so you'll have all these links on there. For those who want more support on their journey, I do help people start their own shows as well. So you can check out my Mass Media Mastery Ignite and Illuminate programs there, and they're all on my website, which will be on my LinkedIn as well. You can check, and that's a done with you program. We do some one-on-one. We have monthly Zoom calls. We have membership site, Facebook page, a Facebook group that we all connect, and I share all sorts of media resources in there, speaking opportunities, podcast opportunities, all sorts of things in there as well. In fact, this is one of our clients in LA, Sheila Mack. She joined the Mass Media Mastery program. She gained over 50 media appearances in just 1 month, and she has her own show. She has the Sheila Mack Show on NBC's KCAA radio and on-demand TV, and that goes out now to more than 5 million viewers. And she's also interviewed a lot of our clients as well on her show. So that's what's possible with what you do. And we have other people that have started their own shows as well. That are in multi-author book projects and all sorts of other ways that they're out there getting seen, heard, and known. So all my links are here. If you just pop on there or just put into your browser linktree/Aldwyn, linktr.ee/Aldwyn, right there, or just scan that QR code. Linktree/Aldwyn. The world is your oyster, my friends, and shine bright. I believe in the power of one, and I believe in you. May your flame burn bright and light up all those around you. Thank you so much. That's the end of that. We'll come to the questions now, and any comments there. Thank you so much. All right, let's have a look at some of these questions, comments here. Okay, Harry says the 168 lifestyle. What's the 168 lifestyle, Harry? I'm confused on that comment. That's Harry
Yep.
there.
The 168 lifestyle is something I've been working on for a fairly lengthy period of time. When I go in and ask people if they know how many hours there are in a week,
Yep.
I've only ever met 25 people, and I had to count them, that knew that it was 168 hours. And the significance of that is that it's a finite number. No more hours or any less hours. So the idea that you've never got enough time is not quite right. It's all you've got. What you've got to do is work out how to use it. And as a result of that, other things sort of fell into place, and you realise that your life's actually finite. The only thing that's certain is death. And I don't want to be morbid about it, but what it means is that you better do it now, because tomorrow it won't work. And
Yes.
I'm in the process of writing a book, which Nick knows a bit about, that describes all these things and what you should actually do and when you should do them. And they're actually specific tools that I'm putting together that will help you just sort of have a roadmap.
Okay.
It's quite significant because I was just talking to Con there, and there's 5,200 weeks in a life of 100 years. So if we actually spreadsheet that, you can sort of plan which week you're in right now, and you can see what your history is, and most people have got no future. That's why they're depressed. And if you start filling out the squares on the right-hand side, you start getting some vision and some reason to get out of bed. It's pretty simple. I should have recorded that because I've got an author who's a publisher who wants me to sort of put all this in writing. But
Well, the good news is, Harry, is we did record that, and it'll be available up on YouTube tomorrow.
Fair enough. I've been a bit apprehensive about putting myself out there, but it's starting to concern me a hell of a lot, because life is just sort of so simple. It's 168, it's 5,200, and it's memento mori. And if you understand those three concepts, everything will just be a breeze.
Yes. Well, it's never too late to start, right? The best time to start a show was yesterday. The second best time's today, right?
Thanks, Nick. I'm glad you recorded that. Oh, yeah.
Yes, never too late. All right, so other questions here. Okay, Paul, from Paul, if interviewing or having discussion with a person, is it best to both be in the same room, studio, or could the talent be online elsewhere? Now, I actually prefer online elsewhere, to be honest, because when you're doing StreamYard, we see your face nice and clear. Whereas if you're next to someone, you're kind of looking to the side and you're actually even smaller on the camera. And if you think about people watching on their devices, that you want to be nice and clear, have your face nice and clear for that. Although occasionally I will do side by side as a little live stream. Occasionally I will, but I actually prefer to be in separate places on different devices.
Of course, I would use separate cameras for each person.
Right. Okay.
And probably two cameras per person.
Okay. So if you're doing it that way, yeah, that would be fine. Yeah.
No, so I just wondered whether there's an advantage one way or the other. But yeah, I get that totally.
Yeah. Well, that's fine because you've got the equipment. Most people won't have that equipment, Paul. But yeah, because you've got the equipment, that's great. You know, you could definitely do it that way. But so long as we can see your face nice and clear in the view that we have, because we only have a limited view on the phones, right? Where most people are watching. So
yeah, okay.
Yes, good question. Good question. And Paul says, could I perhaps introduce you to a schoolgirl who is wanting to be a journo? Okay, recorded her interviewing the guy who surfed for 40 hours world record. Yeah, sure. As an entry to Channel 10 competition. Yeah, sure. Happy to take any introductions. I've got you just contact me on Messenger or do Messenger connection. Yeah. That would be great. So Con says my family will finally know what I do if I get a show out there. Funny, Con. That's hilarious. Well, that's right. They will.
Invite them on, Con.
They will.
Ask them online. Ask them on live what do they think you do. Could be a play opener.
Yes, I love your humor. And this is another one too. Be overworked and even more exhausted than I am today. That's hilarious, Paul. It's something about 168 hours, I think, might help you there. As David said, attracting the people to us who are our tribe. Yes, you'll be able to do that for sure. Neil wants to be the go-to person. His life would be much more singularly focused. Yes, absolutely. Oh, thanks for popping the link tree in there. That was great. Thanks. That was great, Aldwyn. Thank you, David. Thank you. Thank you so much. You have asked us how, and now I'm curious about you, Con says. Why did you start your TV show? Was it to build a brand, more clients? Good question, Con. Thank you. Let's just turn it back to me, shall we? Okay, why did I start? Well, it's a very good question. I actually started because I wanted to initially I just wanted to be able to interview people such as like David Icke, for example. In fact, one of the first shows I did was Truth Expose TV. I knew David Icke was coming to Australia and I didn't have a show at that point, and or I had some sort of ad hoc things I was doing in the background. But when he came, I started Truth Expose TV, and it was for my third episode. I ended up interviewing David Icke because I wanted to interview someone who had a big name. So that's actually a great question. That David Icke interview is actually up on my YouTube channel. It's up on BitChute and Rumble. You can still see it. That was back in 2016. And when I started, I actually did it originally. The StreamYard, I don't believe, was around back then. I did it actually on, it was actually YouTube Live back then. I did YouTube Live when I started, and yeah, and then I went on to StreamYard, and I was looking for other platforms. I looked at a lot of different platforms before I settled with StreamYard. But I really like the simplicity of it. It's still got its glitches. You know, StreamYard, sometimes when you do a comment, it only goes to the Facebook page. It doesn't go to all the different platforms. So you have to manually copy the comments across and things like that. And sometimes I've done videos, the screens come out black, you know, stuff like that happens sometimes. And it's important not to get too hung up about it all being perfect. You know, I've got videos out there that the screen was black for some reason. I've left it up there. So, you know, I don't worry about perfectionism. I just keep the content rolling because it just captured the moment where I was at the time. So why delete it? It still captured a legacy of that moment. Good question, though. I like that. Thanks, Con. David, what platform to start on? How long are your videos? Okay, good question too. Or pre-recorded. Okay, so if you're doing a podcast, if you want it to be on a podcast, a lot of people do them sort of around the half-hour mark. You know, 30 minutes to 40 minutes is around the going rate. Generally, with my shows, I tend to go for 1 hour to an hour and a half because I like to go deep with my interviews. The beauty of a longer show is we can always edit it down later and we can make it a shorter show if we want to. So
what do you use to edit it?
To edit StreamYard, or there's lots of different editing platforms if you want to edit down. There's something called video.io. I just found out about the other day, vidyo.io, and that actually edits long videos down to short videos. I've got a team at the moment using CapCut. They're going to be using CapCut as a platform. Actually, Nick would know more about that. He'd have a lot of different video platforms. Good question. And Nick, do you recommend any video editing platforms? There's things like Final Cut Pro, obviously for the pros, etc. But you know, now there's a lot of apps that make it really easy for you. There's lots of different ones. Nick, you're just muted there.
I just muted myself. Yeah, no, there are a lot of apps out there. Depends what you're using it for, but like Audacity was a good one for podcasts. We use Pictory.ai for cutting things up into short videos because that does the captions, it transcribes them and creates short videos, which are really good for creating social media content out of your videos and things. But yeah, there's lots of good software out there, and I think you know, it's like if you're not going to edit it yourself, really just use the software that the editor that you hire is going to use to do it, and you can get some good editors out there for you know, reasonably good price as well.
Yeah, great answer. Thank you, Nick. And just go back and watch some of Nick's tech tools. I'm sure he'd have a whole lot in there too that he's got. There's so many different apps coming out all the time. I know a lot of people are doing a lot of reels on Instagram. They're sharing it across TikTok and things like that. But doing a show is a little bit different, doing an online show. As I say, I love StreamYard, and, you know, you can edit now on YouTube as well. So there's lots of platforms. I actually haven't edited any of my videos, to be honest. I just keep it as it is. I did edit one on YouTube the other day. I snipped the beginning off because we had a late start on one of my trainings that I did for my clients, and so it was very easy just to snip it off in YouTube because the video was up in YouTube anyway. So that's quite amazing. YouTube has these little things in there too that you can use, but that's all I did with it. Yeah, I mean, I used to do high-8 editing back in the film days, back in when we made short films, you know, we used to do the old tape editing. But, you know, editing's not my forte. So you're better to outsource that kind of stuff, I would say. If you're not good at it, just outsource it. You don't want to be focusing your energy. There's someone like Paul. See, there he is. Outsource someone like Paul who knows what to do with editing, or, you know, get a production company, etc. You don't want to be wasting your time doing that kind of stuff. But as I say, too, don't overthink it. Don't overthink it. You know, with Anchor, you can upload the videos. Now, with the intro we have on Total Truth Show, my co-host actually created that. So I'm not sure what platform he created that on. I will ask him. But he did a little 90-second intro for our show, which we play. We actually uploaded that to StreamYard and we play that intro. So after we say, hi, we're so-and-so from wherever we're from, we just go, we'll be back after this 90-second introduction. We play the video and then we come back to us again. You can just bring it up, take it away very easily with StreamYard. So, yes, I hope that's answered your question there. Our new AI tool. Okay, here we go. Cons shared opus.pro, opus.pro. One long video, 10 viral clips creates 10 times faster. There you go. That's one for the tech tools section. Excellent. All right. Yeah, so that's fantastic. Any other?
I had an audio question. Is that all right?
Sure. Yep.
We got time, Nick?
Yeah, go ahead, Con.
So StreamYard, I would use StreamYard as well. I've been thinking about the StreamYard on Air, which is the webinar platform. Having said that, I've got a lifetime edition access to Webinar Ninja, whatever it's called, Web Ninja. So I've got that also. But I'm thinking, is it best to keep it all on one platform? Is it best to keep your tech stack? So, because I use streaming like you, and I go live to YouTube, I go live on LinkedIn. I'm thinking of doing now, moving into webinars.
Okay. Well, actually, to be honest, I did a webinar on StreamYard the other day. In fact, we had Andrew Carter from Global Publishing Group. He came on and talked about how to publish a book, etc. And we did it as a webinar on StreamYard, and we streamed it out, and we had live comments coming in. And so I love the fact that it's interactive and you can go to multiple platforms at once. Whereas if you use Webinar Jam, you're just limiting it to that audience on webinar.
Do you have the additional product? Or do you have the StreamYard on air product, or
I've got the max
level?
I've got the top one.
You've got it. Yes. Okay.
I've got the top one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got
I'm just considering whether the investment's worth it.
Well, I pay about $500 US a year. Roughly, you can do it per month, $50 a month or so. I mean, for me, it is because I do a lot of content. I'm doing shows I'm doing 1 or 2 shows a week. That's Media Queen TV or Total Truth Show. And I'm doing the Global Good News Challenge every month. So for me, it's absolutely worth it because, you know, it's about omnipresence. It's about, you got to consistently keep putting yourself out there.
You're right. The challenge for me is doing always, the outro, the intro. Hey, welcome to today's show. And then the outro, and then doing those little banners and this, that. So it takes a lot of work to try to package something up, or we just go live, raw, and just don't worry about it.
Exactly, which is exactly what I've done with all my Media Queen TV. It's just live, no music, no intros, no outros. Okay. And so this is the thing, don't overcomplicate it. You can always add that stuff later. Okay, thanks, if you want to. So all I suggest is just take some action and just do it. Don't overthink it. But I love that interactivity of the live shows myself. And back to your question on my motivation now is to inspire truth and good news. That's why I do my shows now. But initially I wanted to interview David Icke. That was one of my biggest motivations at the time. And, you know, to share, I've actually always loved interviewing people. So actually to be able to share that to a wider audience, I think as the technologies change, it's become a lot easier now to do your own online shows.
Thank you.
Thanks, Con. Thank you so much. Any other questions, comments? Let us know what you got in the chat. That'd be great to see from you. What did you get from this session? Let us know in the comments if you're watching on Facebook or here on Zoom. Thank you so much for joining us. Back to you now, Nick. I know time's ticking on.
Awesome. Excellent. I'm just absorbed in all this here. So, you've got me in my happy place. I love this, online stuff, this, webinars, TV, podcasts. That's my jam. So I could talk about this for a long time. So, so thanks very much. Let's everyone give Aldwyn a hand for sharing all of her knowledge tonight. So much in there tonight. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we have
some Now I didn't ask you, and I don't want to put you on the spot, but I will anyway.
Yes.
Did you have a door prize or anything for tonight?
Yes, I do. I've got 2 actual media strategy sessions worth $497. So I'm happy to give 2 of those away today to our people on Zoom. Thanks.
Awesome. Excellent. And I have to tell you, they are well worth it. So I get the benefit of actually just chatting to Aldwyn, but I've spent some time in consultation with that. Well worth it. So anyone that wins this, it's $495. I was going to say well spent, but it's not spent. This is yours as a free gift. So let's spin the wheel. We've got everybody's name in there. Maybe you have to be in the room to win. So Lorena, let's click the middle and give it a spin. There we go.
Thank you. Harry says great motivation. Thank you so much. Jane says thank you so much. And
a lucky winner number 1 is Margaret Briggs. Are you still online there, Margaret? She is indeed. Just gives a wiggle, a toggle, a mute. There we go. She's there. So, Margaret's there. So congratulations, Margaret. We'll hook you up with Aldwyn by email tomorrow. And then you can organise that time with her. All right, so that's our first one. Thank you. We've got 1 more to go as well. So let's spin that again. Get that drum roll going. I saw Con had his fingers crossed there. And
congratulations, Margaret, by the way. Well done.
And lucky winner number 2 is Neil Hockey. Is Neil here? Oh, so I can see Neil's face here. So congratulations there, Neil.
Excellent.
And we'll hook you up with tomorrow as well by email. So watch out on your email there, and then you can organise a time to have a chat with her.
Thank you.
Excellent. Very good. All right, well, that is our show for tonight. So once again, thanks, Aldwyn, for spending the time with us tonight. I know you're sort of online a lot, so it's always good to get you back on this show here. And for those, I did have someone asking whether they could see it again. Well, I think Harry, anyway, your little snippets in there, so you can go back and watch it on YouTube just to grab that. And so that'll be up on YouTube tomorrow afternoon. If you haven't subscribed to the business or to the Smash Go YouTube channel, go and subscribe to it now. When you do subscribe, just click the little bell that appears beside it when you subscribe, and then you'll get a notification to let you know that that video and the future videos are all ready there. So we've got that link there in the chat now. And also one other thing is the Canva workshop that we ran for 6 weeks. We are running that again. So we've had some people through that, and have actually achieved some things, which has been pretty awesome. In fact, see Gordon here. If you want to see Gordon's review on that as well, thanks, Gordon. Go and check out our our Google My Business page. And so Gordon's one that went through that program as well. And there's Jane that's on here as well. She went through that as well, and a number of other people as well. So that is open again. We've got a link on in the chat there for if you want to find out a wee bit more about that program. It's not just about becoming a good designer. It's actually about how to use it for business and use it as a tool for business, and looking at some of the tools inside Canva that you may not be aware are there that actually connect to the outside world out of Canva. All right, well, that there is our show tonight. I'm looking forward to seeing some of these TV shows, these podcasts that are coming out. So no pressure there, Con and David, and those that have mentioned that there's one coming out. And I have to say, it is a pretty wild ride. Always when you start, it always feels a bit awkward and a bit sort of stilted. Well, don't worry about that. Everyone goes through that. Thank you for tuning in and listening to the Business Owners Smashing It Online podcast. You can also find me on social media and online. Just search for Business Owners Smashing It Online and Nick Cree, spelled Nikree, all one word. If you like this and want to hear more, subscribe now. Until next time, don't be a slave to your business. Get your business working for you.